My name is Tamzen Lundy and I am a textile artist and felt maker. Felt is made from wool, which is a sustainable fibre which comes from sheep. And felt making is one of the oldest textiles in the world. It predates weave and predates knit, and it doesn't use any tools. So making felt, you lay the fibre of wool, and I use soap and water to open up those fibres. And then it's a process of lots of rubbing and lots of rolling and lots of energy. And we shrink the fibre down to 50% of its size. And it becomes a very, very strong textile in the end. And these pieces behind me are made using that process. These are my fantastic Mr. Fox and Mrs. Fox. I really love making these creatures, both in their full size, full height form, but also in my faux taxidermy, where of course no animal was harmed. They are sort of whimsical, but mischievous, and also of course natural. Fantastic Mr. Fox by Roald Dahl was the first storybook that my brother, this is many moons ago, read on his own. And it was a huge achievement in our family because he wasn't a reader. So I think that's where my inspiration comes from, and often comes from actually storybooks like Oliver Jeffers' The Lost Penguin, or Peter Donnelly, Searching for the President's Cat. And when I have read these stories to my kids, I then think, well, I'll make that penguin for you, or I'll find that cat. And so that sort of sparks my imagination. So these pieces behind me were made over 100 consecutive days. So that means they were made repeatedly over 100 days. I made one piece a day, and they're all made around the same size of pattern. But the idea for me was to really play, to try to experiment, to sometimes fail in what I was trying to achieve, to sometimes not even know what I was going to make, and also to try to push things. So one might inspire the next. I might have one idea and it worked out well, and I would try to push it further the following day, and to really set myself that goal of repeat, 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 play, don't be too precious about it, try not to be too serious. And at the end, I would know that I would have a body of work that I had enough belief or faith that somehow it would have some meaning at the end of that. Some of them I used found materials like this one. Wool, as I say, is completely biodegradable, it's completely natural, but I would be on a beach walk and I would find fishing twine, and so I incorporate that into my work. And then it's also interesting because that part will not biodegrade. That part is beach waste and plastic. So my eldest son, who's 15, has been asking for a cat for about a decade, 10 years. And it was during COVID that he finally broke me. So that's a lesson for all of you, that if you really want something, just keep asking for it. And now we have a cat. And I love him. So I got quite into cats during the COVID pandemic and staying inside because we had a kitten. And so these are new pieces that I started to make. And at the same time, my daughter, who is 9 now, was reading The President's Cat by Peter Donnelly, who has had an exhibition here. And The President's Cat is a little ginger tabby type cat, tiger. So I decided I would start to make cats for people. These pieces were made in response to a visit to the Riverbank and the Children's Gallery. When I visited here, I saw the lime green walls and I thought, oh, I could use that colour. And I'm often inspired by nature, and I wanted to show a
up-close view, the sort of micro-universe that children often see because they're closer to everything, and when they're looking at the inside of a flower or a daisy, they might examine it for a long time, much longer than an adult does. And so that's where these abstract pieces emerged.